BLUELOCK's egos are the foundation for the series as a whole. Becoming the world's best striker requires you to be the world's greatest egoist. A statement that has been pushed and solidified by Jinpachi Ego through every trial of the selection event since BLUELOCK began. And now currently in the NEL, we not only have been given a greater understanding as to what a character's ego entails, but also how it shapes their performance as a player. Recently in chapter 280 and 281, we've been exposed to the concept of geniuses and prodigies, giving them more realistic categorizations than just a fancy title. And for this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what it means to be a genius and a prodigy, and how these classifications will lead Yoichi Isagi to victory in this match against BXG. Before getting into the video though, I do want to mention my Discord server, that being the New Egoist Geeks. There, myself and other BLUELOCK content creators host not only Discord exclusive events, but also actively engage with the community. If that's something that interests you, you can click the link down below to join and become a part of that community. And just a reminder that we are still looking for people to join our new Gen 11 fan film project. We are looking for all kinds of artists, specifically animators, background artists, and storyboarders. If you are interested, reach out to me via any of these socials in the description of this video. And if you wish to donate towards the funding of this movie, you can do so by leaving a super chat on this video. However, please do not feel obligated to do so. All we can ask for is your support on this project. And the last thing I want to do is leave a spoiler warning for the most recent chapters of the BLUELOCK manga, and if you aren't caught up to that point in the series, I would suggest you click off this video right now. When looking at what defines a genius, that relates back to genetics and God-given abilities. We see from Ego's explanation of mutations and basic genetics that being a genius is a title granted to you at birth. Some core examples of this are Chigiri Hyoma, Noa, Rin Itoshi, and Shida Ryusei. Chigiri from birth had such a natural development and growth of his leg muscles, which allows him to be such an incredible sprinter. With Noa, his natural perfect ambidexterity is something that far surpasses someone like Isagi or Kunigami. For players like Rin and Shido, their natural impulses when it relates to their mental state is something that can't be taught, as it's just a natural feeling that has stuck with them throughout their lives. When looking at players like prodigies, they are those who are easily adept with picking up skills and utilizing them to their fullest, masking that skill as something unique only to them. Examples of this include Sai and Ryo. Sai is one of the most talented players in the series, but his skills and plays aren't so incredibly high that nobody could hope to reach that level. I mean, looking at Ryo, copying Sai is something that any person can do with enough training and technical work. And speaking of Ryo, he's the perfect embodiment of being a prodigy. I mean, in only 6 months, he was one of the best players in the BLUELOCK project during the first selection. And during the current arcs, his chameleon style has become so advanced that he's able to copy the technical prowess of both Rin and Sai in just 2 weeks' time. When taking a look at the difference between a genius and a prodigy, you need to look at it through the lens of Ryo. If Ryo is using his chameleon ability to copy the weapon, it makes that skill a prodigy-related ability. If he can't, it's a genius-related ability. An example of a prodigy-related one are Sai's cross-elastic nutmegs, or his hocus pocuses, whatever the hell you want to call them. And an example of a genius-related ability is Bachira's elastic dribbling. Now there are players who have these natural or physical dispositions that aren't considered to be geniuses. An example of this is Aryu. Aryu is an incredibly tall player at 6'5", making him the second tallest player in the BLUELOCK project. But just because he has that insane height and reach with his legs doesn't mean he's automatically a genius. In other words, it means he does possess the qualities worthy of making him a genius, however he needs the prodigal skills to reach that level. Another way to put it is like this. Take Chigiri, except he didn't play soccer. He would still have that genius potential, but he wouldn't have the prodigal talents worthy to put him at genius level. Now there is another category of geniuses and prodigies that I would like to call the Masquerader. Masquerader is someone who appears to be one of these categories, but rather is the opposing one. The best example of this is Kaiser. Kaiser's abilities have been considered to be God-given talents even by the current best striker in the world. However, from his backstory, we know that this is not true. The Kaiser impact isn't something that Kaiser was born with, it's something that he trained to create himself. And when looking at his Magnus shot, it's something that any player can really utilize, same with Yukimiya's gyro shot, which functions in nearly the same way. Because of Kaiser's situations, his performances, and his teammates, he's able to masquerade as a genius while existing as a prodigy. But how does this all relate to Isagi, and how will it allow him to defeat geniuses? Just like Kaiser, Isagi exists as a masquerader, someone who believes themselves and appears to others as a genius while only living as a prodigy. He also does possess genius-like qualities in metavision, a skill that isn't accessible to everyone. But that is exactly why it's important. Looking at Isagi's internal monologue, he deduces that the world stage is dominated by geniuses, meaning those of the genius title or the ones who create the current generation of football. And this is how Isagi will defeat them. Throughout the series, Isagi isn't a player who can create plays on his own, shown with him needing players like Hiyori and Corona to assist him. This is how he appeared to others and the community that he was better than Kaiser. Even dating back to Team Z's final rally against Team V, Isagi utilizes the geniuses in Bachira, Chigiri, and Kunigami in order to force his way towards a victory. In the second selection, he uses the geniuses in Nagi, Baro, and Chigiri to compete on the level of Rain. Throughout all of Isagi's evolution, he's been shown to use geniuses to create plays, rather than being one himself. And as Ego said, that's the new path for Yoichi Isagi to travel down. He's become so fixated on being a genius himself that he has completely lost track of how he plays his best. Isagi's new objective, his new path towards an evolution, through adapting to the current state of the field created by geniuses rather than adapting to the geniuses themselves. The geniuses in Rin, Loki, Shido, and Noah may create the state of the field, but through Isagi's emulation and adaptation, he will adapt to that current state through the use of his teammates. We see on the last page of chapter 281 that by analyzing Kaiser, Isagi is able to fully understand how to match these geniuses. And with Kaiser being someone who has been masquerading as a genius, by understanding exactly how he did this, Isagi will be able to compete with the true geniuses. From all of Kaiser's performances in the NEL, he positions himself in the perfect spot to score from and awaits a pass. But who does he await that pass from? That's right, Alexis Ness. Ness has been shown to be able to create plays through his magic, and with his specialized angle technique unique to him and him alone, that makes him a genius. A genius who creates plays, and therefore creates the current state of the field. I know this has been an overarching theory since the beginning of the PSG game, but this is how that theory pulls true. Especially with the title of Neiju from this next chapter, who else could he be referring to aside from Ness? Ness was somewhat starstruck by Isagi's magic after the Ubers game, and with him being abandoned by Kaiser, this is his chance to finally create the magic he did back at the start of the NEL. A Ness x Isagi chemical reaction, the genius magician who creates plays, and the adaptability prodigy who adjusts to the new state of the field before anyone can, that is how Yoichi Isagi will adjust to the geniuses of the football world while only existing as a prodigy. This also ties back into my Omnivision theory, where by understanding these concepts, Isagi will be able to unlock an awakened and upgraded version of his metavision that increases his brain processing. This increased processing, a genius partner who will create a new state of the field through his magic and the understanding of his evolution, this is how Yoichi Isagi will conquer the NEL and claim the spot of number 1. But that's just my own personal theory. As I'm writing this script and as you're seeing this video, I have not seen the leaks for chapter 282 yet, so if this does disprove my theory, then that is unfortunate. Aside from that though, I hope you guys did enjoy this video and will continue to enjoy it in the future. Also, I'm pretty much out of video ideas right now, so if you have any ranking videos you want made, any analysis videos you want made, leave them down below and I'll probably turn them into a video. And let's try and keep it unique, not something like the what if Kira came back, cause he ain't coming back. Aside from that, for the question of the video, who are characters that you would consider to be a genius, a prodigy, or a masquerader? Leave me your thoughts down below in the comment section. And like always, thank you all for watching, like and subscribe to see more awesome Blue Lock content just like this.